I'm a member of a Red Sox nation. It's a kind of a family. Wherever I roam, a Fenway home, that's where I long to be. I'm a member of a Red Sox nation. It's a kind of insanity. Yeah, I live and die with Red Sox pride for eternity. I fake a smile November until opening day. Suffering baseball withdrawal around the clock. When April comes, hey, meet me down on Yankee Way. That's when Red Sox Nation starts to rock. I'm a member of a Red Sox Nation.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 56 of the Avid Boston Podcast, presented by AVIDBOSTON.com. For those of you staying up late with us on Periscope, as always, you can find the episode on SoundCloud within 30 minutes of the conclusion of this broadcast, as well as iTunes by your AM commute. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Player FM, and maybe some other places I'm not even aware of, because for some reason it just gets automatically uploaded to some of them based on my subscription. So we're basically available everywhere, and at the top of this video link as well is the link to the Avid Boston podcast section of the website, where you can find the SoundCloud and iTunes links right from there. So probably the most frustrating series of the year, and to get into it with me right now is my co-host Dave Kwiatkowski. How did you feel about it, Dave?
That's a great way to put it. This is probably, if not the most frustrating series. The Oakland ones were pretty frustrating, but this one is the most frustrating in recent memory of this Red Sox season.
Yeah, and especially if you look at the fact that the Astros and Yankees are doing so well, and, you know, we're kind of hopefully in just a temporary rut, but definitely you want to see things going the other way.
Yeah, you definitely do. In Game 1 on Tuesday, Chris Sale pitched an absolute gem again. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 1 walk to 11 strikeouts. He took a no decision in that game as Alex Cora blew his first game as a manager in well over a month, having Robbie Scott come in and tune up a 54 ERA. And as we lost the game, as we could not get any run support for Sale again, which is a continuing problem for the Red Sox this year. In Game 2 on Wednesday, David Price came out and continued the great pitching performances by the Red Sox starters as he pitches a perfect quality start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs with 3 strikeouts. And the Red Sox once again get no run support for him as we could not solve Lance Lynn, and we get 1 run and we lose 4-1. And in the series finale, which is probably the most frustrating game for the Red Sox, considering that we put up 9 runs on 16 hits, which we could not do all series long, as Rick Porcello throws the best game of the series, 7 innings, 1 hit. That was in the first inning, 5 strikeouts, as the Red Sox get to the whole pitching staff of the Twins, and we win 9-2.
And probably his best start of the year, really. I know he's had some good ones, but I don't think any were quite as good as that.
No, he gave up a hit in the first inning and then didn't give up a hit for the rest of the way. He had 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, right when the Red Sox needed him the most, honestly, considering that we just lost 2 out of 3. We were looking to get swept, and the lineup hasn't been producing. You needed a guy to go in there and literally not give up a run for us to win, which is a little frustrating.
Right, absolutely. And Sale pitching well. He was in a little bit of a rut, you know, maybe, 3, 4, 5 starts ago, but I heard something about how he might have changed his arm slot. Have you heard anything like that?
I didn't hear arm slot. I heard more pre-pitch delivery. And
okay.
He was standing with his back to center field, and normally he has like a side profile to the back of center field where his numbers are. They had a side-by-side one of the games, and they kind of worked on that pitching mechanic, and it just kind of led to better control, I guess. I guess he just kind of like gets in that slump a little bit where his body language is just a little off, and it really messes with him. I didn't hear anything about his arm slot.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you're correct. I just knew it was something mechanical, and
Yeah, it was that little thing. And honestly, he had one really bad start against Atlanta, and he was just average against Houston, who just owns him. Alex Bregman in Houston owns Chris Sale. But
right.
after that, for Chris Sale, that's a really bad stretch there. So for him to get back on track with the White Sox start and now this start just shows that he's, worked on that mechanic and he's back to normal Chris Sale.
Yeah. And David Price looking a little bit more human, but I guess he's entitled to, with the run that he's been on.
Yeah, he's been, our ace the past 10 starts, and he continued at this series as well. 6 innings and 3 earned runs works for me. I mean, the guy does get paid $31 million, but it's not his fault he gets paid that much. So he's doing his job right now, and he's been really the backbone of this staff along with probably Erod the past 10 starts.
Yeah, and Price was up against Lance Lynn, who I've always liked, from afar. He doesn't have anything that's going to blow you away, but he can get guys out and, wins his team a lot of games. And he had an ERA over 8 or something in his first 8 starts. It's down. It might have even dropped below 3, actually, after that start.
It's 3.25 right now.
Oh, 3.25? Yeah.
So. Oh, no, that was Gibson. Lynn is at 4.64, but it's been like under a 3 his last 6 starts or something.
Yeah, right. Yep. And I just feel like he was kind of a victim of that weird market, and he signed maybe 2 weeks, if even that, before the end of spring training, and I just think that really hurt him. And he's kind of, hitting his stride, so I don't know if that's going to help spark something with the Twins, because they pitched very well all series, really.
They pitched great up until today.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with Lynn, he's getting back on track, which is great for him. Obviously, when you don't pitch all spring training and you're sitting at home and you're stressing about a contract, you're going to take a little while to get going. But I think the thing that the Red Sox made the Twins pitching look a lot better. Barreros is great, or Barreros, however you pronounce his last name. He's fantastic, and he's been real hot the last month or so, maybe even month and a half. But Lance Lynn had 5 walks.
He did have 5 walks.
And we just couldn't get the big hit. We left, 7 or 8 runners on base? So, runners left in scoring position with 2 outs. We had Martinez and Velasquez and I think another person. And we had multiple guys on first. We could not get that big hit. And if we did what we did today, which was not even get 16 hits, but just get the big hits, we would have won 2 out of 3, maybe even swept this series. That's why it was so frustrating. Today they put up 16 hits. In Game 2 they put up 4. In Game 1 they put up 8. 8 hits to only 2 runs. And Barreros only walked. And Barreros walked 3 as well in 6 and a third. So we were getting on base. We could not push that guy over to, get the hump over there and get onto, the scoreboard. And that's what really hurt us this series, because we did get to their pitching, as Barreros had a really good game. Other than that, Lance Lynn, 5 innings, even 5 walks, not really a great game. And today, obviously, we got to Gibson pretty good.
Yeah, it took a few innings, but we did finally start putting some runs up. Bogarts was the one who kind of broke that, stranding the runners spell, when he cleared the bases there with that base hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good to see. But, as I kind of touched on, just after the intro, other teams are getting hot right now, notably the Yankees and especially the Astros, who had a 10-game win streak. And we're scuffling a little bit, and the bottom half of our lineup just needs to step it up, because the top half can't carry us all season long. And if you look back to Game 2 there, Price versus Lynn, if that bottom, I think that was the 0 for 12 night with our bottom 3.
It was. We didn't have it. It was the bottom 4. No one got hit.
Oh, bottom 4, even worse. So, I mean, something has to be done. I mean, internally, you want to see some lineup shuffles, and then externally, hopefully Dombrowski has his eyes on some serviceable guys. We're not going to make a big splash like the Yankees are, but it's hard to imagine we're gonna come out of this year on top if something doesn't get done. And Alex Cora doesn't like to shuffle his lineup very much, so it's just aggravating to see basically the same lineup go out there with results that aren't great. And I think we had lost 4 out of 5 coming into today.
Yeah, what did we lose? We split Seattle, right? We won the last 2 games against Seattle, I think, and then we lost so 4. So like what? 4 out of 6 we lost, or something like that coming in today.
Yeah, something like that.
So, but I think he doesn't shuffle his lines, but I think that his lineups, but that proved to help this year with Benintendi being abysmal the first month of the season and not taking him out of the 2-hole, and he's turned it around. He's been great. And Devers, up until, if you take these last 2 games out of Devers, year this year, he was batting .243 going into the second and third game of the Twin Series. He went 0 for 8 the last 2 games, which isn't good. That brought his average back down to .232. But, you take, if he goes, 4 for 5 tomorrow, he's right back up to .240 again. So you take what you can with that. I think he just has an issue of he doesn't have the personnel to roll out there. And you're not going to change the 1 through 5 because you're not going to put Devers or Nunez or Leon or Bradley or Holt in the top 4 or even the 5 slot. And there's no difference when it comes to putting Mookie at the 3-hole and Bogarts at 1 if we're not getting the big hit anyway. So I think it's just an issue of we don't have serviceable people coming out there consistently. Bradley's batting 180, and it's frustrating because he's barreling the ball half the time and either hits it to somebody or strikes out. So that's frustrating. And Nunez just stinks. And Holt is good here and there, but isn't consistently every day, although he's our best option right now, but he's not a good option for the rest of the year.
I think the Red Sox, especially in that Price-Lynn game, I think they could have benefited with having Mookie maybe third in the lineup, because I think Benintendi or Bogarts, or maybe even, well, I guess probably not Holt based on what the actual numbers were, but definitely Benintendi or Bogarts could have got on and maybe we get a run. I don't know, but when the bottom 4 were hitless, Mookie's just getting wasted in that leadoff spot. So I really would like to see them shuffle that a little bit. Brock Holt has a OBP of 374 is his OBP. I mean, that's up there. That's almost all-star.
That's good. I mean, he's averaging, what's his average now? It's
297.
So, I mean, he's up there batting average-wise. And I think the Lynn game was another example of not getting the big hit because Holt, Devers, and Bradley all had a walk. And Mookie had 2 hits. So Mookie had 2 hits, so he either had hits when no one was on base or he had a hit when someone was on base. I just don't remember how it went. And then Benintendi went 0 for 3 behind him. So, even if you had Benintendi up there, he would have ended the inning regardless. So I think it just comes down to, once again, you're not getting the big hit, and the bottom of the lineup you just can't do anything about because we don't have anybody to bring in. Holt's your best option over Nunez and Swihart on a day-to-day basis. And other than that, the catchers don't hit. Sandy's been a little bit better recently, I guess.
Well, actually, I was just going to get to that. He is hitting 273 over the last month.
Yeah, he has average up to 240 now. If he could get to 250, 260, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I would almost just rather see that at this point. I'd like to see him get 3 out of every 5. So that would be Sale, Porcello, and whoever else doesn't work as great with Vasquez should be his third start. I just trust him a lot more, and I think he's a good defender. I don't think there's a drastic difference between